Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. And this evening I'm talking to Martha Burrich from Michigan. Good evening, Martha. Lovely to see you here.
Same here. I'm very happy to be here.
Thank you so much. I'll start off with a question, which is the same I ask everybody, and it'd be interesting to see where it leads us. What is it that you enjoy when you're not working? What do you enjoy doing? Activities, anything?
Well, today I walked the dog. I love to walk the dog. We went
Yeah.
about 3 miles today, and the weather was so nice. I got a lot of nice sunshine. And so when I'm not working, I walk the dog. And also
Mhm.
this morning I went to the jail. Every week I go to the jail. I volunteer at the jail and the
Yeah.
treatment center, and I talk to people with substance use disorder. Been
Hmm.
doing that for about 4 years. So that's kept me occupied or busy today. And then we had this interview. So that's pretty much been my day. Oh, I got gas in the car, all those kind of things. I
Oh,
went to the
all those
grocery
normal
store.
things, yes.
I love the grocery store. The grocery store to me is like Disneyland. I want to go to the grocery store. I think I like to eat too much.
Well, we have to eat to survive, don't we? Let's face it. The grocery store comes in very handy,
Mhm.
especially when we're hungry. But yes, so tell me a little bit more about walking your. What sort of dog have you got?
He is a rescue. We think he's lab pit bull mix. He's a little sweetheart. He's about, well, 7 years old now. We got him when he was about 4 months old. He has a little deformed back paw. He has
Hmm.
but I think that's why he didn't get
Yeah.
adopted out. I don't know, but we love him. And he's just a little sweetheart. And he weighs like 50 pounds. He's all muscle.
Oh, they
So
are, aren't they? They're really solid.
yeah, but he's a
Yeah.
sweetheart. He's just a sweetheart. And oh, we had some excitement today, Carolyn. I stepped out. I opened the door to the garage, and and then we have the doors that close. There's the house door, and then
Yes.
there's the car doors, right?
Uh-huh.
Well, my brother had left one of the car doors open,
Oh.
and I usually put the dog. I put his name's Banshee. I put him in the garage, and then we put on his. I get the leash and everything all together.
Hmm.
Well. He went running right out that car door,
Oh.
and yeah, and so luckily my son was right there, and he got him. So that
Oh,
was a little
Lord.
too exciting for me because when he runs off, the last time he ran off, he came home in a police car.
Oh, no. I shouldn't laugh, but it's funny.
It is funny. It is funny.
Oh dear, yes, dogs have got great characters, haven't they?
hmm
Amazing characters, yes. So do you walk in the woodlands or in a park
Yeah,
or
we live very rural, so I just go right out down the driveway and onto our dirt road, and it's pretty isolated and safe. So there are cars that come up and down, but they're usually not going real fast. And usually when they see people, with their animals, they slow down because we have horses down the road. Got a guy down the road with cows and um, goats and chickens and all
fabulous?
that.
When I was young, we lived in a town, and my lovely mum, late mum, uh, wanted to be a little bit self-sufficient. So we had about three-quarters of an acre, which is quite unusual in a town. And She got two goats and some chickens. And yes, it was. She used to take the goat for a walk. If she needed some groceries, she'd walk down the road with the goat up
Oh.
to the petrol station, the gas station, and get some groceries. And the goat would leave a calling card on the on the forecourt. She was known as the goat lady. I don't
Oh.
know why, but yes, they're great characters as well. But yes, so I'm quite familiar with goats, and I love goat milk and goat yogurt and goat ice cream and all the rest of it. Yes, it's very tasty.
Well, my mother told me a story back when I was a baby, my dad said that he wanted the healthiest children, so he got a goat and they kept it in a closet in the house.
What? Poor goat. Oh dear.
And then my mother told me stories about having to go out in the backyard to get the eggs from the chickens, telling, even when it was all muddy, she'd have to get the eggs. So, and they did not live rural. They lived, my dad was in the Air Force, so they lived on base.
Oh wow.
I guess that's why the goat was in the
In the
closet.
closet. Oh, the mind boggles, really. Yeah.
Oh,
I
my poor
yes.
mother. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a good idea about the eggs, but keeping the goat in the closet, yes, not quite sure about that one.
Me neither. Goodness. Oh,
Oh dear, that's funny. But yes, it's great, isn't it, to live in the countryside and just be able to step out of your front door and just go for a walk, and you can walk for however long you like, and it
right,
doesn't matter, you know.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and right down the road there are two horses. There's a miniature horse and his friend, and they've been buddies forever. And
Mm.
the big horse is named Colby Jack, and the little one is Bernard. And they're always together.
Yeah.
We like to
Is the
walk down and look at them.
is the little one a Shetland pony?
I guess that's what he is. Yeah.
Yeah. They're great escape artists,
Oh,
Shetlands. Um, they have a little twinkle in their eyes, Shetland ponies. I had a friend a number of years ago now, and she used to rescue them because
oh,
some of the states that some of these ponies would arrive at the yard in was absolutely, it was horrendous.
oh,
And one day, her and her daughter were going for a run, and they lived in the country, so that she was running down this country lane where no, not many cars used to go. And then all of a sudden, there were people, in a car that went past, and they sort of were looking and did a double take, and all the Shetland ponies had got out and they were following them on their run down the road. So there were about seven Shetland ponies trotting along the road.
oh, that's cute.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, they're great, great companions too for horses.
And then,
Um,
that's what's so nice about being out in the country. You just never know what you're going to see.
yeah.
One day, my son saw a turtle who had been run over, and it
Oh,
upset him because he's got such a big heart for animals. So he immediately bought a sign and put it up on the tree and says turtle crossing. So he wants people to watch as they
oh,
drive to
that's
make.
great. That is, I like that. That's brilliant. No, it is. I think animals they they do a great job
Mm.
for us humans, don't they?
Oh yes,
Um,
they're definitely such helpmates, and
yeah.
so I was when I was walking that. Sometimes when I walk the dog, I'm just mad about something, so I'm just talking and carrying on, and the dog could care less. Not talking, trying to work
What's she
out
on
this
about
problem or
today?
whatever. Yeah, what's she on about now?
Yes.
Just would you just walk, would you? But he could care less, so I get all my frustrations and aggravations out just,
Yeah.
talking and yelling and whatever and talking to God and asking God what I should do about this problem or that problem. So yeah, it's
And then by
very
the end of the walk, you've got it
helpful.
all resolved.
Yes, got it all resolved.
Yes, it is a great thing, isn't it? I think the fresh air, animals, and the countryside are a real great mix
Hmm.
um, of of um, how to be, how to spend your day or part of the day or a lunchtime. You can fit it in, can't you, around what else you're doing. Um, Tell me a bit about when you go to the prison.
Well, I see the ladies who have substance use disorders, drugs or alcohol, and if they choose to come and see me,
Hmm?
and we usually sit down and we talk about, what are your plans when you get out? How are you going to stay sober? What are you going to do? So I try to get them, thinking about the future and how they're going to handle their problems because
Hmm.
that seems to be a lot of our difficulties with substance abuse is that we don't know how to handle our problems and our
Yeah.
frustrations and our aggravations. Children who don't know know how to take no for an answer become adults who don't know how to say no to themselves.
Yeah.
And they're very unpleasant people, you
Mm,
know, and their lives are very unhappy and miserable. And they usually lose a lot because they don't know how to say no to themselves.
yeah.
So I really try to get that, try to have that discussion with them. And what are you going to do now? How are you going to be able to say no to yourself now? You know, what procedures are you going to put in place? What are you going to do?
Yeah.
So,
It is. It's I don't a lot of people don't realize that as a young child, I think they grasp things earlier than I think a lot of us realize, or a lot of people realize, and they take on board an awful lot. So my view is, right or wrong, I don't know, that everything a child learns between the age of 0 and 6, they then outlive the rest of their lives with
mhm,
what
big
that
help. Yeah,
block of time. So
yeah,
I could be wrong, but it's
yeah.
just an observation of what I've seen, and
Hmm.
it's and a lot of it, I think, a lot of children pick up things, don't they, when things
Hmm.
might not be going right at home. Um, Perhaps a parent does a particular thing,
Hmm.
which not might not sort of go down well in society, perhaps, and they think, oh, well, my mum did it, so I can do it. And then when they grow up and have a family, they let their children do it. And so the
Hmm.
cycle goes on and on and on, doesn't it? And
Right.
you need to have that break in the cycle.
Yeah, and these days now with digital this and that and phones and entertainment everywhere and yeah, it's a real minefield for parents and for children. You know, you say 0 to 6. I think that's when things are established. I always have a saying that we're all just reliving high school. Unless you get intervention, we're all reliving high school. Yeah,
Mm,
and creating the same patterns, the same friends, the same people, the same
yeah,
relationships, the same, unless
yeah,
you make an effort to get out of that and to start being around different people who
mm,
push you and who help you stretch and get better.
yes,
Otherwise, you're never going to move forward and move onward
mm,
if you're constantly
it's true.
surrounding
Yes,
yourself
it's true.
with people who aren't reaching for something more.
Mm. And if you're not perhaps a strong-willed person, very easy to say, oh, I'll just try that. It might, help. And then you go down a rabbit hole that's not good.
Yeah, oh, Carolyn, I have to tell you this story. Okay, I was walking the dog yesterday, and one of my neighbors came by. Oh, he's a wonderful man, Tom. He's about 55. Anyway, he lives with his mother, and he was telling me that the doctor, or the mother's toes are turning blue, and the doctor, she's a diabetic, and the doctor said, if you don't start exercising, I'm going to have to amputate those toes. Now,
Mm,
this is a woman, she's 70 something, and And Tom said, I can't get her to get off that phone. I cannot get her to get off out of the chair. Just 5 minutes. But
mm,
see, that's what happens. We get so rooted in
yeah,
I don't know, in our way. I mean, Carolyn, if the doctor said that to you, if he said it to me, I'd be walking every 10,
yeah,
I'd be walking all day long. Well,
yeah.
and I'd at least walk 5 minutes
Mm.
every day.
Or even if you walked on the spot, it you wouldn't
Yes.
necessarily have to go
Just
out of
stand
the
there
house.
and right, just
Yeah.
stand there and walk. And
Mm,
I find that is frightening to me to
is
think that someone has so little respect for their health and
mm,
their ability to be mobile and move around that they
yeah.
don't care. That's scary.
It is scary, and it's a known thing, isn't it, that the feet are problematic when you're diabetic,
Mm-hmm.
and you have problems with the feet, and then you get the non-feeling sensation in the feet, so you don't know whether you've burnt your foot, or you don't know whether you've trodden on a nail because there's no feeling in the feet.
And Tom,
But
you could tell he was so concerned
yeah,
about his mother. And he said to me, I told my mom, I'm going for a ride. I got to take care of this. But when I come back, we're going to walk to the mailbox and back. You be ready to get some exercise. You
yeah,
could see he was so worried.
yeah. It is a concern, isn't it, when people don't have that respect for themselves? That there must be an underlying factor then, probably for her. Maybe she's uh, oh, what's the word? Depressed.
Oh, yeah, it could be so many things. It could be
Yes,
so many things.
and he needs to get to the source of the problem, because the source of the problem will the toes going black are the symptom of what the problem is.
Yes. And I know another friend, his wife, she's the same way. She just won't exercise and her health is getting worse and worse. But she just refuses to do what she needs to do because she's depressed, and of course, and then she gets more depressed.
Yes.
So what's my advice here? If you're depressed, get up and do something. Go help somebody else. Go to the dog shelter and walk a dog. Go to the old folks home, the nursing home,
Mm,
and ask to talk to someone who doesn't have family, who's lonely. The way that we help ourselves is to get out of ourselves and to be
it is.
useful.
But sometimes, it when there's a strong-minded person
Mhm.
that's perhaps able to lift themselves out of that. When you get somebody that's perhaps not so strong, that's when it's problematic, because they can't see the point
Mhm.
of doing lifting themselves out of it. They don't realize that they're in it to lift themselves out of it.
Yeah.
And I think there lies another problem, isn't it? That, if you're not strong, or you don't really care for
Mhm.
yourself, it is that, and there must be so many people around the world in those boots.
Yeah. That hopelessness.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
yeah. It does make you think, doesn't it? When you and for the short time that we've had this conversation, that you've told me about some two or three instances
Yeah.
where there's a problem, and their families are desperate to get them to help themselves.
Mhm.
It how many times more thousands is that around the world? It sort of makes you think, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very
Wow.
sad.
Yes.
Very
Well,
sad.
what a conversation we've had, Carolyn. Goodness, who knew we were going to go down that rabbit hole?
Well, you see, this is what I said to you. I said we start off with a question, and you never know where it leads. And I've had
You
conversations
never
with
know where
probably
it leads.
about 14 people now, 15 people, and it's fascinating, the different conversations that we've had, and what it leads on to. So yes, um, I would love to thank you very much for joining me on my chit chat tonight, Martha. It's been
It's
enlightening
great
to
fun.
hear your stories, your conversation about what you do with your dogs, and sadly, your neighbour who is unable to perhaps go for a walk. I hope that she does. I hope that she goes out with her son for a walk, and that's the start of getting things right for her feet, because to amputate somebody's toes, that's going to make it even worse, because she's not going to be able to balance to walk.
That's right. And health is wealth. Health is wealth. So we
Yeah.
must preserve our health. We must do what we need to do
Yes.
to stay as healthy as possible.
Yeah, yeah. And the work that you do is invaluable, for in the prison that you volunteer at. Invaluable work, and hopefully, the ladies that you see will come to you a few years' time and say, "Thank you for that."
I've already had a few because I've been doing it for 4 years. So I've seen pretty many success stories. So it's
Good.
been very
Well, I'm
gratifying.
thrilled to hear that. That's brilliant. Thank you so much for chatting with me, as I said, and it's been a great short time getting to know you a little bit more, and hopefully others that will see the video will get to know you a little bit and might want to have a conversation with you as well.
Sounds like fun. Sounds like a plan. Thanks, Carolyn.
Thank you, Martha.